Hey everybody, it's Candy, aka Brown Eyed Girl 69. How y'all doing today? Well, I came to Norman today because Dutch Brothers was giving out another merch drop, and it's basically this. It's a Fun Boy drink floaty, and it can hold up to a 32-ounce beverage, or if it's up to one large 30-ounce beverage, oversized floating base. As I was going in, I seen a couple of girls, they looked like they were college age, going into the store, or they'd already ordered and they were waiting on their drinks, and they'd already gotten the floaty, and so they blew up a couple of them just to see if their drinks this size, these are medium, would fit in there. Now, what I got was, this is a strawberry colada. So it's coconut, pineapple, blended lemonade, and it has real strawberries on top. Now this is what they call a Blue Lagoon Fizz. And it's like a fizzy drink, citrusy flavor, blue raspberry. It has strawberry, real fruit in it, and then I had them add some blue raspberry pop and boba pop things. It's pretty good too. The frozen strawberry colada is more sweet than the Blue Lagoon Fizz drink. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. Oh, I gotta put on my seatbelt. I got me a J ready. I gotta come through town, and I'm gonna tell you what, this line to get out of this place is crazy. But luckily, I'll be able to get out of here without any issues or problems. Because there's like two lines over here for people, and then there's a little line right here that comes out, and it says right turn only, so I can only turn right, and that's what I wanted to do anyway, was turn right. So anyways, so basically the last 2 days off yesterday, I got a lot of things accomplished with bills and whatnot. Took me a little walk to the post office, etc., etc. Today, I got the laundry. They dropped it off yesterday, late afternoon. So I started working on it. My daughter came over this, I guess early afternoon, to pick up what laundry I already had ready, simply because she was already out and about. She did invite me to go to the water park with her and Hunter and the kids and the nephews. I think 2 out of the 3 nephews would be going. I was like, you just want me to go so you have an extra set of eyes? And she goes, well, yeah, Mom, there's like 6 kids, you know. Which is true. It'd be my 3 grandkids and 2 of their cousins, and then Mom and Dad, or Aunt and Uncle, however you want to look at it. But I told her, yeah, but the older boys can keep an eye on the girls, you know. They want to go that bad. But now I told her, yeah, I appreciate it, but I already had some things planned for today, like going up here and getting Dutch Bros. So that's why I went ahead and bought 2 drinks. So I could get Kelsey a piece of merch as well. Since she's doing other things, and since I was invited to come along, and I chose to stay back, I figured the least I could do is get her a piece of merch. And I wanted to try those 2 drinks as well. Sorry if I'm not looking at the camera, but I am driving and trying to keep my eye on the road and what's going on in front of me. So basically, when I get back home, I've got a load of towels to dry. I got 1 load of their clothes washed. It'll be washed by the time I get back. I'll take those out, put them in a basket to wait on the dryer, and then I'll start another load of wash. I'll probably get everything washed up tonight as far as getting it dried and folded and whatever. That might not come completely tonight. But it might. It just depends. I do plan on going for another afternoon, evening walk, but it's just so hot. It says it's like 95 degrees right now. So, if I do decide to go for a walk, my best bet's going to be like going in the evening around 8 o'clock, closer to sunset. And if I do decide to not go to the track and just take a walk down the block, I could even do that as late as 9 o'clock tonight if I wanted. Simply because our main street's lit up with street lights, and it's Main Street. It's not like anybody's, gonna grab me or anything. And I think that's one reason why I moved back to my town that I did, was because I know it. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit different than it was when I was a kid growing up, but the whole concept of the town that I grew up with is still there. As far as how the people behave and how the people treat one another. There's families that live in this small town that's lived there 2, 3, 4 generations, so I might not know everybody, but if they're related to a family that I knew as a child growing up 5 decades ago, if they're a member of that family, then it's, it's kind of cool. I got some customers that come into my grocery store that, I guess he's around my age, maybe a little younger, but I think his uncle was in my age group. Yeah, it was his uncle and his dad that was in my age group. But, and he's like in his, probably around 35 years old. And once I found out his last name, I was like, "Are you related to the?" And he's like, "Yep, I sure am." I was like, "Wow, small world." But yeah, that's one reason why I did move back to Purcell, because of the fact that I grew up there. Everything feels comfortable as far as prices on the cost of living is extremely cheaper than, say, living in Norman or Oklahoma City. I mean, I'm sure there's a few places here in Norman or in Oklahoma City that is going to be a little bit cheaper, but you're basically going to be living on the wrong side of the tracks, so to speak, if you want to get the cheap cost of living, or you're going to get a hold of a landlord that doesn't take care of his properties very well. Me, I pay, a minimal cost for my bills, in comparison to if I was living in Norman or Oklahoma City. That was another thing when I did my traveling at the end of 2020 into early 21 that I discovered as I was coming across these places in the different parts of the United States. I was making notes as to, what the economy looked like, what the overall appearance of the city or town looked like, if there was any job opportunities available, etc., etc. And I also kind of observed the people, in those places, to see what attitudes abounded, I guess. And I looked around all these places. Even when Daryl and I was homeless, I was very observant of where we were. I just say this, I've been to many, many, many places across the United States. Many cities, big cities, as well as, medium-sized to small towns. And I just wasn't comfortable with any of them. All I see is corporations in all these places, and I would have to be in one of these places for probably a pretty extended period of time before I was to find the gems in those specific towns or cities, as far as local mom and pop shops, artistic music types of people and places, where you can see the creativity of these people that live in these places. But I didn't see any creativity because of the fact that it's all outshined by all these huge corporations that make themselves parasitic in nature, as they hone in on all these major cities and eventually small towns. It's ridiculous. I'm sort of glad that I didn't light up what I was going to light up, because I just passed a Norman police officer hiding behind a building over here, which this area is known and prone to people speeding around this corner before they have to come to an abrupt stop. That strawberry colada is good. Now I remember what was in the Blue Lagoon. The Blue Lagoon is blue raspberry and passion fruit fizz with the citrus twist. That's what it said. And then strawberry real fruit. The strawberry colada is a jam now. See, normally when I go to Dutch Bros, I always end up getting some kind of chocolatey type of mocha blended freeze, but I think I'm starting to kind of get over it because it's just too sweet for me, And I wanted to try something different, and it's summertime, and so these are the summer drinks. I have a lot on my mind. I have so many things I want to talk about. So many things I want to share. So many things that are on my heart at all given different points of time of the day. My thoughts on current events. My thoughts on growing as a human. Just some of my thought processes alone have changed very quickly in the last few weeks. I was talking to my daughter today when she came over, and I helped her bring the laundry out to the van, and we were kind of standing there chit-chatting for a second, and we were talking about the kids, and something was brought up. I can't remember exactly how it was brought up, but I told her, I was like, well, that's one thing you definitely don't need to do with the kids, is involve them in church. I was like, because when you push religion onto a child, ultimately that's, it's mind programming, it's brainwashing, it's indoctrination, it is child abuse. She looked at me and said, Mom, you don't have to worry about that. She goes, yeah, Hunter's parents go to church, and they're kind of, in it for the social aspect of things. And I told her, I was like, well, You just explain to the kids as they're growing up that this is more of a social event. It's more for entertainment purposes. And that, yes, there is a creator, but the creator isn't the creator in the Bible that they try to push off on people, you know. I told her, I was like, because with you and I, you know, I was brought up in church. I had no choice. And as far as you, Kelsey, was concerned, because I wasn't awakened yet, didn't see any issues or problems with it. When your grandparents asked me if they could start taking you to church with them, I didn't have a problem with it. And she told me, well, Mom, she goes, there's something that you don't know that I don't think I've ever told you. And I was like, oh God, what's that, you know? She goes, oh, it's nothing bad. I just don't know if you've ever realized it or not, as I don't really talk about it, or I don't think I ever really talked about it to you. I was like, oh, well, what is it? And she's like, I never believed the bullshit. Even when I was a little kid, I didn't believe it. She's like, I just didn't believe it. And I was like, so do you call yourself an atheist? And she's like, no, I wouldn't go that far. And I was like, well, trust me, I'm on the verge of very, 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 very thin line of calling myself an atheist. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It doesn't mean that I don't believe in a higher power or a creator or whatever, but I don't believe that this creator is what I don't believe we've been told. I think we've been, you know, hidden. Many truths have been hidden from us as a society, as humanity, you know. So the little few people that do have access to these hidden truths can control the masses, you know. Because there's always some human out there that wants to be in control. Even we want to be in control, you know, of ourselves, of our choices, etc., etc. So it doesn't really befuddle me to think that other people want to control other groups of people. But what befuddles me is the fact that they have to do it through means of deception, you know. I think Mossad's motto is, through deception we create war. And the Rothschild's mother once stated, if my boys want war, they can have war. And see, here's the thing is, all these people, there is no left or right. There is no we versus them. They're playing what I would call risk or stratego. But they're doing it with real people, real lives, real money, real situations that they're creating, you know, for their game, for their gain as well, you know. To them, the game of life, it only involves them. They don't think about other people. They don't think about what their choices and decisions do to those, you know, underneath them, so to speak. Because their actions do create other actions. You know, it's a trickle-down effect. So, in order for these people in control and power, if you will, to have all the luxuries that they have and not have to lift a finger to have what they have have to push other people aside, you know? I guess that's one reason why I never really wanted to be super rich. Probably because as a child my parents had money, or what appeared to be money, in my eyes, you know, based off materialistic possessions and looks and things of that nature. So I had things, you know, I've seen materialism from a very young age onward. And as I matured, I realized that things don't make you who you are, you know. People cling on to things because there is some inadequacy within themselves that they refuse to look at and correct, or they don't even acknowledge is there. Anyways, that's my little 20-minute rambling as I was driving from Dutch Brothers home. I'm not even close to being home yet. I'm still at least probably 15 minutes out. I just passed the small town of Noble. And that town, I think, is about 10 miles from us. 10 to 12 miles from us. So, and the speed limit right now currently is only 45. But they did finally get this 2-laner open, so that's good. Now I feel like I can ride up my J. Kick back and relax, you know. But thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to my ramblings about my day and my thoughts. Like I said, I have so many things that I want to share. I just don't know how to. I guess I need to start writing things down, making like a, what do they call that, an outline, so to speak. I'm pretty good at talking off the cuff sometimes, but only if the knowledge that I'm speaking of is something I've spoke a lot of on the subject matter, you know, like religion. I can pretty much quote religion and scriptures and what they're referring to, etc., you know, because I studied it for so long. Just like all the conspiracy theories regarding the government and politics and pharmaceutical industry, etc. That's because I studied that information for years. I've gone down many rabbit holes. Now the rabbit holes I'm going down have actually nothing to do with societal decimation, but more of us deceiving ourselves, us, you know, self-sabotage, unconscious drama that we don't need. A lot of it has to do with the ego. The ego always is trying to get you to continually pursue something. It doesn't matter what you pursue, it just consistently wants you to pursue something. Anyways, peace, love, hugs, nugs, all that good stuff, and until the next time, I'm out.